How's it going, everybody? My name's Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. Today I'm here with my friend Cam, who is crushing it on Amazon. He's just a few months into his journey, and I'll let him tell you what milestone he's been able to hit recently. But if you just want to kind of introduce yourself, Cam, maybe let him know how you got into Amazon, what sales are looking like for you. We can kind of go from there.
All right, so my name is Cameron Seaver. I started selling on Amazon. My first product was sold May 15th, and since then I've been able to do 122,000 in sales. So it's gone a little crazy, man. It's been better than I ever could have thought, and I can't wait to see where I can take it.
That's awesome. Yeah, so 4 or 5 months in, you're already crushing that six-figure milestone. So I'm sure you'll be onto great things, making tons of money this Q4. But just kind of pulling back for a second, right? So when you were first getting into starting your Amazon business, that kind of thing, why did you land on Amazon? Have you tried other businesses in the past?
Yeah, so I've always liked, just flipping things for profit. I always found it as a good way to make side money and stuff. So when I was maybe 13, 14, I had this aquarium. I had because I'm pretty big into aquariums and stuff. So I had this old aquarium I was going to sell. I listed it on Craigslist and I ended up selling it for 3 times the amount I got it for. So then I was like, well, wait a second. And so then I started just buying up tons of really big fish tanks and just selling them locally. And I was actually making pretty decent money, especially, for a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, whatever. So just kind of started from there. And then I just moved on to obviously easier things to sell than that, because that's not a whole lot of fun loading that into a truck every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went and started selling other things on eBay, OfferUp, really anything I could think of, but it was never a big scale like Amazon. And I had always thought Amazon was too difficult to start. I thought you had to be some kind of expert, or there was some huge barrier of entry. So that's why I had never really considered it. And then I saw some of you and Miles's videos on YouTube, and I was like, well, wait, this doesn't actually seem that hard. Maybe if I could teach myself, I could, have my own business and stuff. And I just decided to give it a go, and it took me here.
That's awesome. Yeah. So always been reselling stuff, and then finally finding that platform where you can just kind of run it up at scale. That's super cool to see. I was the same way. I was starting car washes when I was a little kid, anything to make money, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just in our DNA, right? So going into, you're flipping the fish tanks, and then you're getting into Amazon. Do you remember one of those first couple profitable flips that you had on Amazon? How would that feel back in the day?
Yeah, so actually my first 2 products I ever bought made some really bad decisions, because I thought I was oh, I'm a genius. I know exactly how to use SellerAmp. These are great products. I wasn't even using Keepa at that point. So first 2 items I bought sucked. Actually, they were the worst items I ever bought. But then first 2 months were a little slow. I was only doing FBA because when I first started, in my mind I was thinking, oh, merchant fulfilling, that would be too much of a pain, and I feel I wouldn't be able to sell as much. But then I actually have a friend that I do Amazon with. He was my roommate when I was back in college, so we started at the same time. And he was telling me he's having some pretty good success doing FBM. So I'm like, okay, I'll try that. And then that's when my sales really started to go up a lot. And actually, my sales are about 80 to 85% FBM. So that's mainly how I'm making my money at the moment. But I'm trying to transfer that more to FBA, so I'm working less.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a big hack that I see with a lot of people who start out and they grow super fast, because you can get the product the day it shows up at the doorstep, you can sell it and ship it out.
Yeah, method that I was doing. So I started with very little capital, only $1,500. But what I found out that worked really well for me, I only somewhat recommend it because it's a little risky, but I would go and scan stuff in stores doing a lot of RA. And then if I found a really profitable lead, but I was on the fence about it, I would just list it, not even buy it, and then go buy it when it sells.
That is definitely on the risky side. You can get some trouble with Amazon, but anything works. That's hustling. That's that day one type stuff. That's awesome. And you can even do a little bit less risky version, is go around in the store, list stuff that's on the shelf, and see if it sells by the time you're out of the store, especially if it's a quicker seller. You can get away with a lot of that. Yeah. So coming in, you're talking about FBM, FBA, just in case any of you guys are, brand new to the concept. FBM, you're just shipping direct to the customer. FBA, you're shipping to Amazon, and they're doing the work for you. FBM comes a lot of speed, as we're learning, right? So you're able to grow really fast at the beginning. Is there any particular types of items that you're looking for when you're doing FBM versus FBA products?
Not really. I would say that FBA is a lot better for lighter things, things that are clothes. I do a lot of clothes FBA, and then my FBM is mostly grocery related items and stuff like that.
Cool. That's awesome. I mean, anything can sell FBM for sure. So definitely as we head into Q4, like you're going to make a ton of money off that. You guys watching this video, if you do merch fulfillment, tons of money to be made. I assume all those boxes up above you, those are about to be full of some profit shipped out of the house.
Oh yeah, I have about
Yep.
6 million more off camera.
That's awesome. So, as you're getting the ball rolling, you said you started a little slow, started, growing pretty fast after that. I've seen the bars, it was like a couple grand and then immediately like 20K the next month or something like that. In that process, when did it start clicking for you? Like what sourcing method are you trying? Like, what was that light bulb moment for you?
Okay, so I would say one particular brand and like only like two or three of their products that I found that just went insane. So like basically what I did is I went to like my local grocery store that was just like right around the corner from me, and I didn't know what I was doing really at the time. I was like, you know what, if I scan almost everything in the store with SellerAmp, I've got to find something. And
Yep.
so I did, and I eventually just found this one product, and I was like, wait a minute, like this is like $9. People are paying like $25 for this. And then I got up as many as I could, and they all sold within like 30 minutes. So I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So then I just started driving around everywhere, getting as many as I could. And I couldn't even keep up with like how many selling. And I eventually, like, only issue was I ran out of money because, like, there's a little delay between when
Yeah.
Amazon pays.
Yeah.
So I literally just like ran out of money, and I was like, well, this kind of sucks because I know I could be selling more. So that was like a little constraining at the beginning. So that was a little bit annoying, but I really just ran it up a lot with those. And then I found this one other brand that's literally like half my sales. It's crazy.
That's
I
awesome.
would say like about 80 to 85% of my sales are two brands. Pretty heavy on them. Obviously, I can't speak more on that, but
Yeah. You got to keep the trade secrets a little bit, right?
I would say if you find something that's good of a certain brand, definitely check out every single item they have, and you can find a lot more opportunities that way.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing you'll notice, like even with, right now it's like, oh man, I'm too dependent on these two brands. That's what people watching this video might be thinking as well. But you're always finding new brands. And as long as you're growing that catalog faster than stuff's falling off, like it's, that's the game there. So it's awesome. You're going to run up those two brands a few months from now, a year from now, they're going to be like, oh, it dried up. And then by then you're going to have 10 more brands. So super cool to see you've already found a couple of those that you're kind of already crushing on there. So how much time, you mentioned driving around to all the stores, that kind of stuff. How much time are you spending on the business these days?
Yeah, so I wish I could say like I spend like 2 or 3 hours and it's easy,
Yeah.
but no, I spend all day, every day, pretty much. It's a grind, definitely. It didn't come easy, but I'm looking to get the right systems in place and do a lot more FBA so I can be less busy.
Yeah, for sure. But that's what it's all about, right? Like you're in the early stages. A lot of you guys watching this video are in the early stages. Like you got to put in that hustle, and then you'll be able to kind of build some team out and all that. So another thing we were talking about, like you said you had been in college. Like is this your full-time gig now? Like what's the life looking like for you now?
Yeah, so one thing I would say that has really motivated me and pushed me to like work as hard as I do is I did like, kind of drop out. So I was kind of like, this is going to work because it has to work, and there's really no other options. So I'm going to make it work. So that's pretty much been a big driver of my motivation and success.
Yeah, that's awesome. Taking a little bit of a bet on yourself, especially if you're, paying for school, it'll always be there. Like I'm not the drop out of college, like college sucks guy, but like, if you got something to take a shot on, like, yeah, I love taking a shot on yourself, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And another thing, I'll brag on yourself a little bit here as well. Like, you're saying you're getting the whole squad, the whole family and on selling Amazon. How's that been for you?
Yeah. So I actually got my parents started, and because they saw like how much I was doing and like the potential of everything and like how much profit I was making, so they were interested in it, and I helped them start up their own seller account and everything. And they've only been doing it like a month, and they're like over 20K in sales.
That's awesome.
Dude, y'all are gonna be better than me. It's ridiculous.
You got family competition going on now. You gotta make sure you're staying ahead of them, right?
Yeah, but no, it does help though, because I help them and they're learning, so like they're starting to help me too. And like I mentioned, I have my good friend who I started Amazon with at the same time, so it's been helpful having people you can talk to and stuff and learn.
1,000%. Yeah, well, that's another thing I see over and over again with people who are taking off quick, is they've got at least like one or two other people to talk to. Sounds like you kind of had it baked in, like people in your life that just wanted to talk Amazon. A lot of people find it in like Discord groups, that kind of stuff, but like it's just such a hack. Like like being a lone wolf in Amazon it's just so much harder. And you guys are sharing, hey, I dealt with this last week. How did you get through it? All that kind of stuff. It's just so, it's like cheating basically. It's like the closest thing to cheating you're gonna get with Amazon. So for someone else who maybe doesn't have those connections, like is there any advice you'd have for them to go out and maybe make a couple Amazon seller friends?
So I would definitely try to get in contact with some people through Discord. There's a lot of good communities out there. Like the Roadmap has really helped me a lot. I've gotten in contact with tons of different sellers that way, and I was a little late, but definitely making social medias and, just trying to talk to other sellers about stuff. It can really help you.
Yeah, absolutely. That was such a big hack for me. Like as soon as I started talking to people, you can see it in the sales of you're going to have the same thing go on, right? So I want to get a little bit more tactical as well for the people who are watching this video. They're trying to find those first couple products, right? How are you actually finding products these days? Unless you're still driving around store to store, like what's your method these days?
So I do a lot of RA still, which can get exhausting at times, but I live in a really, really good area. I mean, I don't live anywhere else, so I can't really speak on anywhere else, but I feel like I live in a really great area for RA and have like some really special opportunities really close to me. So I'm gonna, keep doing a little bit of that. Obviously, I do a lot of that. Originally, I didn't know what to look for. I would just scan random stuff. I would just go to clearance sections and scan stuff and flip whatever. But now I kind of have like a lot of replenishable products, so I kind of know what I'm getting and stuff. I do some OA too. I definitely am trying to get a lot better at that. I need to for sure.
Yeah.
But whenever I do that, I usually will reverse source, I would say is one of the easiest methods, and keep a product finder.
Yeah, those are my go-tos for sure. And yeah, I like what you're talking about with like the outlets and some local grocery stores, like that kind of stuff is probably what you're hitting up, right? So any of you guys who have this like those same connections, like go out to all those stores. Like that's like the best way to start. Like I love OA, but like as you're proving here, like the best way to start is going out to those local grocery outlets, the Nike outlet, that kind of stuff. Just whipping out the app and you'll get so much of that hands-on experience. It's just so much easier than trying to do it all online. Plus it's more fun. Like you get the rush, like it's like a treasure hunt and you find it in real life. Like I got it. Yeah.
Like I know I need to stay out of the stores a little much. I need to do some less FBM, less RA, because I'm trying to scale, obviously, and I know that's going to be through OA and through a prep center. But I just really love RA, and I feel like I've gotten really good at it. And like I know all the good stores around here. Like yesterday, I had a pretty crazy day. I literally came home with like an entire truckload of inventory. Just
that's awesome. Crazy. That's awesome. Making a couple $100, $1,000+. What was the profit estimate on that truckload?
I would say probably around 1,500.
That's amazing, right? All in a day's work, right? So yeah. That's awesome. So, as you've been growing on Amazon, I'm sure there's been some misconception that you had. What were one of those misconceptions that you maybe had a lot of other beginners have about Amazon that was just not true after you guys started?
So I always thought that Amazon, I thought there was a huge barrier to entry, and that you had to have some serious professional business that has already been doing millions of sales, and that you needed all these skill sets, and that it was experts doing it, not just everyday people, So it's really, for me, I found that it's not that it's easy, but I found that it's a lot more doable than I first had thought.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like that first shipment, finding that first product. So I was like, man, I'm doing rocket science here, and then one step at a time. Like you're talking about, you're starting to learn the brands that are good, and you're learning where in the aisles to go to, and that'll translate once you're doing OA as well. It's all just about putting in those reps. We talk about it on a lot of these interviews. At the end of the day, there's not insane massive secrets. It's just putting in the reps. This product I can buy for about this and sell it for about this. It's really just putting in the reps, and I'm sure you're already seeing the payoff from that kind of stuff. So looking into the future, what is your goal for the business? You want to use VAs, prep centers, you want to keep working hard. What's your vision for running the business into the future?
Yeah, so I definitely don't want to be working like I am now, because it's pretty much a 24/7 gig at the moment. But I actually just started using a prep center. I'm actually going to ship out my first FBA shipment with them later today. So I'm really excited about that. Eventually, I want to be able to work remotely, really wherever I want, and not have to handle any products, really. I may at some point get a warehouse for FBM. I don't know if I want to go that route. We'll see how it goes, but definitely for sure want to scale up OA a lot and run it through the prep center, because I don't want to be packing hundreds of orders.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm the same way, right? We could definitely get a warehouse. It would definitely make more money, but it's man, is that, extra few $1,000 a month really worth you got to manage people, you got space, you got utility bills to pay. Prep center, you're just shipping it off to them. Hey man, here's $500. Thanks for doing the prep this month. That's just so much easier, right? It's very tempting to get the warehouse though. It seems like it'd be fun, right? So, right now you're doing $25K a month or so right now. It's about what you're rolling at.
So I did $40K in July, 43 in August, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm at for this month. I think it's around 25 right now.
Awesome.
On this month, but
cool. So I'm underestimating there. So what's holding you back from 50K, 100K a month right now?
Well, I probably would have hit 50K in August, but I had a family vacation for like a week,
Yeah.
and I was so impressed. I was like, I was still able to do 43K, and I took off a whole week. That was crazy. But really, what's holding me back is just time, because like I just don't have time to source new items as much as I want to, and like be able to spend as much. Because like at first, my big issue was I didn't have enough capital. Well, now I have capital to spend. Now I just don't have enough time to source because I'm doing too much RA, too much merchant fulfilling. So I'm trying to like lessen that, which is hard because I know I can make money that way, but I don't think I can scale it any more than really what I'm at.
Yeah, it's hard to sacrifice that, that short-term growth for something should go on. I see people hit a plateau. It's definitely possible to do more than like 30, 50K with RA, but I see a lot of people who love doing RA kind of stall out around that point. So I think I kind of agree with you there. And the other thing that you could do, with OA, all you guys watching at home as well, is, cataloging those products a little better. Like I'm sure you've got a big long list, but like, every product you've ever bought from this store, you've got on a spreadsheet, you're keeping it up to date. Like if everything's still, which ones of these are still good, you can do that with OA, right? Like you're just filtering down to stuff you've sourced in the past. There's so much money to be made off that. Like that'd be like one little systems tweak. You could probably, I bet there's some profit hiding on those past spreadsheets for you. But beyond that, yeah, it sounds like it's just getting into some more OA. But I mean, printing some money doing RA, driving around town, is a lot better than sitting at the desk job, right?
Yeah. Well, I definitely need to get more organized. That's the issue I have. So, but I will say to anyone watching, definitely don't discount products that maybe aren't good anymore, because I've had several leads that I made a lot of money off, then the competition went up, price plummeted. So then it was kind of like, okay, I'm done with this. And then I check back like a month or two later and it's really popping off again. So definitely like check back on listings that is something that might be bad today could be really good in a month.
Yeah, because like say it got added to a leads list or something, everybody who's on the leads list bought it, sold out, forgets about it, and then all the people who just know how to make money are left. So that's definitely a big one. And we catalog like everything we've ever found. Like it's like tens of thousands of leads. We're just filtering down to those lists. Anytime the sale rolls back around, it's like, it's another one of those things. It feels like cheating when you have good systems and that kind of stuff in place. Yeah. So just to kind of start wrapping us up here, if you were, you're in your shoes, 6 months ago, I guess at this point, what are those first couple steps that somebody should take to go start taking Amazon seriously?
So I realize not everybody is wanting to do it as a full-time job. Some people are just doing it as a side hustle. Me, I'm doing it full time, but I would say really just go all in and don't worry about any what ifs or what if it doesn't work or what if this happens or anything. Just go all in and seriously just binge YouTube videos, because there's so much good information out there, and just try things, because you can start with very little capital and very little risk. Because one thing I loved about the business is that really it's not too risky if you start off like, doing merchant fulfilled RA, for example. There's only a little bit of risk involved in that. And I think that anyone can do it. And to think that you can't is just, you're hurting yourself and holding yourself back.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It's just powering through, right? Like something I try to do, like the things you say about like yourself and about, the things you're wanting to do are very powerful. So like Amazon isn't hard. Like it's, something, it's like a challenge to overcome, right? So like, it's not I can't do this. It's how do I do this? Like stuff like that. Like I'm sure that's been stuff that's kind of helped you along the way as well. So we were also talking about the benefits of, social media, making connections. If anybody is watching this video, especially if they're at your sales level, you guys want to, chop it up, where can they find you?
So I have an Instagram page. It's called Camazon02.
Sweet.
So
Yeah. We'll get that link down in the description as well.
Yeah. Camazon02. Drop a follow. I'll follow y'all back. Love to meet new sellers and network. So I would appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah. Really appreciate you hopping on the channel here, Cam, sharing some knowledge. Definitely some super actionable stuff for you guys who want to go, hustle and make some money on Amazon. So really appreciate you hopping on here, Cam. If you guys do have any questions, comments, feel free to drop those down below. Always happy to answer those for you. Hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps me out with the algorithm. Really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you next time.